one night with me, Lily, and I will give you the money you are looking for.
Hey, leave me alone. I can't believe this. I'm not going to sell my body for money.
Lily had always dreamt of wearing a crisp uniform, carrying a neat bag, and walking proudly into a classroom filled with bright faces. So when she received the letter, the scholarship to Starlight High School, it felt like the world had finally opened a door for her. This was the opportunity she had studied for under dim lights, the chance to sit among the best and brightest. But on her very first day, the dream did not match her reality. While her classmates arrived in polished uniforms and new shoes, Lily stepped through the school gate in a faded gown that hung loosely on her slim frame. Her sandals were old, the straps frayed from years of use. She carried her books in a small backpack, the only thing her mother could afford at the time. The scholarship had given her a place at Starlight, but it had not bought her a new uniform. At first, most students didn't pay much attention. They assumed she must have forgotten her uniform at home or that it hadn't been ready yet. But as the day wore on and Lily kept showing up in her plain housewear, the whispers began. Quiet stares soon turned into sneakers, and sneakers into laughter. Lily tried to ignore them. She kept her head down in class, answered questions when called, and always sat at the front, where the teacher's presence gave her a small shield of comfort. Her answers were sharp, her mind was quick. The teachers noticed. Then Vanessa noticed her. Vanessa was the leader of a group of 4 girls who walked like they owned the place. She was beautiful, always perfectly dressed, the daughter of a powerful politician. Among her friends, Vanessa was the meanest, quick to mock, quicker to sneer, and slowest to show mercy. From the moment she saw Lily, she decided the scholarship girl would be an easy target. One hot afternoon after school, Lily went back to the market to help her mother at their roadside stall. Balancing a tray of oranges on her head, she wove through the crowd, calling out softly to attract buyers. It was honest work, the kind that had put food on their table for years. That day, Vanessa passed by in her father's sleek car and saw Lily on the street. She laughed. She pulled out her phone and recorded the girl the whole world, or at least the school's group chat, would soon see. By the next morning, the video had spread across the class chat. Almost everyone had seen it before Lily even walked into school. The teasing shifted from clothes to life. They called her the fruit seller, mocked her accent, and some pretended to buy oranges every time she passed, as if the whole thing were a joke. From that moment, Lily became the target of endless cruelty. Her chair one day was smeared with milk before she sat. Water accidentally splashed over her books on another. Some afternoons she cried alone in the restroom, then wiped her face, smoothed her gown, and walked back into the world with her head high. No one in that grand school could know how much it hurt. No one could know how often she wished she could disappear. Still, she kept showing up, because the scholarship had given her a chance, and she would not let that chance be wasted. Lily's story was only beginning. Lily's life at Starlight High School only grew harder after the video of her hawking fruit spread. Every morning felt like a battle. She walked into the gates knowing laughter and cruel jokes awaited her. Some students whispered as she passed, while others made no effort to hide their mockery. Still, Lily refused to give up. She buried herself in her books, determined to prove that her mind was stronger than their insults. In class, she always had her hand up. The teachers noticed her brilliance, even when her classmates chose to overlook it. She became the quiet girl who always had the right answer. When her mother finally managed to save enough to buy her a new school uniform, Lily thought things would change. On the day she walked into school wearing the crisp white shirt and neatly pressed skirt, she felt a flicker of hope. But instead of acceptance, the laughter only grew louder. "See the scholarship girl in borrowed clothes," they sneered. Some said the uniform didn't suit her, others joked that she looked like she stole it. For Lily, it was crushing. What she had thought would end the bullying only made her a fresh target. Behind the facade of strength, poverty's weight pressed harder. After school each day, she hurried to her mother's stall, balancing trays of bananas, oranges, and groundnuts on her head, weaving through busy streets. Her mother, kind but worn out, smiled through the struggle, giving Lily encouragement and prayers when she had nothing else to give. One evening, as Lily was leaving school, balancing her tray as usual, a group of boys ran past her roughly. She stumbled, and the fruit scattered across the ground. Bystanders laughed as she knelt, frantically gathering them before they got crushed underfoot. Her cheeks burned with shame. Then, a hand appeared. She looked up and saw Ben. Ben was different from most of the rich students. Though his parents had money, he never flaunted it. He was quiet, reserved, and carried himself with a gentleness that drew respect without him demanding it. Unlike others, he never joined in mocking Lily. Without a word, he helped her pick up the fruits one by one, brushing off the dust before placing them back in her tray. When they finished, he gave her a small, reassuring smile. "Thank you," Lily whispered, barely able to meet his eyes. From that day, Ben noticed her more. He saw the way she ignored the bullies, the way she studied late into the evenings in the library, and the way she carried burdens many of her classmates would never understand. Slowly, he began greeting her in the hallways, asking about assignments, and sometimes sharing his notes. The friendship was small at first, almost invisible. But it was enough to make Vanessa furious. To Vanessa, Lily was beneath them, someone to humiliate, not someone who deserved kindness. And now, with Ben, one of the most respected boys in school, showing interest in Lily, her jealousy turned sharp. The bullying worsened. Her chair was coated in glue one morning, sticking to her skirt when she sat. Another day, water was poured into her locker, soaking her books. Yet through it all, Lily held on. Then came another blow, at home. Her father, a hard-working carpenter, collapsed one evening after weeks of coughing. Rushed to the hospital, tests showed he needed urgent treatment far beyond what the family could afford. Bills piled high, and Lily's world began to crumble. She tried to stay strong at school, but her mother's tears and the weight of her father's illness haunted her. One afternoon, after breaking down behind the library, Ben found her. Concern in his eyes, he offered to help. But Lily knew it wouldn't be enough. The treatment cost more than Ben or any teenager could provide. That was when another temptation came. Daniel, one of the wealthy boys in school, cornered her with an offer. He could give her the money, but only if she gave him herself in return. Her father's life hung in the balance. But so did her dignity. And in that moment, Lily realized that survival would not only test her brilliance, it would test her character. Lily's story took a surprising turn when the school announced a national academic competition. And to the shock of many, Lily was chosen to represent them. Whispers rose immediately. The fruit seller, some sneered. She's not good enough for us. But her teachers believed otherwise. And Lily herself knew this was more than a competition. It was her chance to prove that her worth was not in her clothes, her family status, or the bullies' opinions. This was her chance to rise. The day of the national academic competition arrived, and with it came the hopes of the entire school. For Lily, it was more than just a test of knowledge, it was a chance to prove to herself, her family, and even her tormentors that brilliance could bloom anywhere, even from the most unlikely soil. She walked into the grand auditorium wearing the school's colors. She carried herself with quiet confidence. The crowd's murmurs followed her, some still mocking, others curious. But Lily didn't let it shake her. The questions were tough, the atmosphere tense, but Lily's mind was sharper than ever. Every long night of study, every page she had read by candlelight, every sacrifice her parents had made poured out through her answers. By the end of the contest, it was clear, Lily had led her school to victory. The announcement was met with thunderous applause from the audience. Her classmates, who once laughed at her, now stood cheering. The teachers beamed with pride. And for the first time, Lily felt what it meant to be seen for her true worth. But as Lily's star rose, Vanessa's world began to crumble. News broke that Vanessa's father, a powerful politician, had been arrested for embezzling public funds. The government seized their properties and froze their accounts. Overnight, Vanessa's wealth, privilege, and pride collapsed. She came to school one morning without her expensive car, without her designer bag. The same classmates who once flocked around her now whispered, laughed, and pointed fingers, just as she had done to Lily. For the first time, Vanessa tasted the sting of humiliation. Lily noticed her sitting alone during lunch one afternoon, her eyes downcast, her once perfect nails chipped. The queen of the school had fallen, and nobody cared. Nobody, except Lily. Despite all the pain Vanessa had caused her, Lily walked over. She placed an orange on Vanessa's desk, a silent reminder of the fruit seller she once mocked, and whispered, "It doesn't feel good, does it? But you'll be okay. Just be better." Vanessa's eyes filled with tears. She had no words. For the first time, she regretted every cruel laugh, every drop of milk, every spilled insult. Meanwhile, at home, Lily's life took another turn. The recognition she earned from the competition brought attention to her story. A scholarship board reached out, impressed by her brilliance and resilience. Not only would they cover her education locally, but they also promised her a place in a top university abroad when she graduated. The news lit up her home like sunshine. Her mother wept tears of joy, holding Lily tightly. Even her father, still weak, smiled proudly, calling her his greatest victory. On her graduation day, Lily walked across the stage in her gown, the best graduating student of her year. The applause was loud, but the loudest sound was in her heart, the sound of hope, of dignity preserved, of dreams taking flight. From a girl mocked for selling fruits to a young woman bound for greater heights, Lily's journey stood as proof: your beginnings don't define your ending. And though her story was far from over, one thing was certain: she had risen above.